What is poppin'?
Oh my God.
Hello.
Well, we're gonna get a lesson in swag this morning.
Lesson in swag. All right, Snapchat the audience real quick. Everybody, just show me love. We're on Snapchat, everybody. Show me love.
So believe it or not, these guys just raised $15 million from Andreessen Horowitz.
Show me love.
And they are the founders of Rap Genius, a website where anybody can annotate rap lyrics as well as many other types of text, including news articles, religious text, poetry, and it's got this incredible ability to bring a second layer of information to the text on the web. So basically right now the web is full of information, but you need this sort of backlog of knowledge, this prerequisite to be able to understand it. Rap Genius gives you that by crowdsourcing that information from the community. So thanks a lot for coming, you guys. I want to talk a little bit about exactly how Rap Genius works at first. So maybe you could just give people a quick intro to what goes on with the site.
Sure. So yeah, so Rap Genius originally started with rap lyrics, expanded to all lyrics, now all of text. You go to the site, maybe you just Googled a line that you're confused about, or you're in a high school English class looking up the Great Gatsby explanations, and you see the lyrics or the text to the document you're interested in. Some of them are orange. You click them. Don't be blinded. A pop-up comes up that shows you the context, the history, illusions, links, pics, embedded tweets, everything.
And Rap Genius is not just crowdsourced. You know, like when we started the site, it was just us and our homies doing this for fun. So it was homie sourced. Then we opened it up. We opened it up to the masses, and it became crowdsourced. And 500,000 people have written explanations on there. So that's like, whoa. But then we decided we want to baller source it. So that's why now we've got the rappers themselves explaining, and not just rappers, any ballers. Like my old law professor, Larry Lessig, has a verified account on Rap Genius, and he explained a freestyle about campaign finance reform. So we don't know whether to put that on Rap Genius or Law Genius or whatever, you know?
Awesome. So maybe you could tell me a little bit about the intention for the site in the long run, and why Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz were so fascinated by the site. Like their history of, and like, you know, what Netscape was trying to do and what you guys are doing to sort of bring on that mission.
Yeah, when Mark originally invented the web browser, he built a part of it was so that anyone could annotate anything on the web, because he had the same vision that, you know, all this information needed more depth, more context. So even though we got in with Andreessen Horowitz because Ben loves rap, and we interviewed him just for the Rap Genius blog, just about like his tastes in rap and whatnot, it's really Mark who's got the same sort of vision for the long-term future of the thing, and I think Ben just really likes the website.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really fascinated with that idea that it wasn't technically really possible for Rap Genius or something like it to exist just because of, you know, server and storage technology back, you know, more than a decade.
Well, it's actually a little bit of a gettier though, because there was the technical limitation, but it wasn't just, you know, storing all the information. It was that I think the general approach of just making it this sort of, you know, emotionless platform that's just on top of everything. Like, you know, I think our approach, where it's sort of, you know, very community driven, it's on Rap Genius, you have the whole community, you get your cute points, you get your cute name. Like that's just as important as the technical advances that we've made. You know, the technology, it's not just the technology, it's the interplay between the technology and the community and the points and the kids.
Yeah, I mean, if we had built like a browser extension to start out, and it was like the annotator browser extension, it would have been hard to get like all the kids who are like passionate about Rap Genius, make it their life, to start annotating shit.
The secret ingredient of Rap Genius is love. We often tell people that Rap Genius was built in love on Rails.
Yeah, I think that's a fascinating way to get a website started, is start with a really passionate community like the people who are annotating your rap lyrics, and then expose maybe the true value or the larger mission of the website by you know, bringing additional features and additional applications.
You know what Tom told me the other night that made me emotional? Was he said that no one could ever like rip off Rap Genius's technology because the technology evolved with the community. So the way it's built right now it's the ideal state for it to be at right now. And where we're going to take it is the next level. But it had to be simpler when it was a simpler community. Like at every step we've evolved with our community. And that's why it's not just a code, and it's certainly not just a business. Rap Genius is a religion. It's a cult. It's often called the Ponzi scheme of knowledge.
Awesome. So you guys actually have an announcement. You guys are expanding to yet another vertical. Can you tell me about that? What you guys are going to announce today?
News Genius. Follow us on Twitter @NewsGenius. Twitter just cleared it out for us. Swag. Yeah. And when's Obama getting a verified account? You know, I want him to explain his speeches, the Constitution, and we want to see what he's got to say about 99 Problems. You know, there's a legalistic storyline in that song.
So beyond just giving this away to people for free on the web, you guys have some other inbound interest about this from companies, right?
Yeah, we've been having some conversations with some government organizations and some big companies who have all these like knowledge problems. So like say like the CIA has an analyst somewhere in another country, writes a memo.
At a black site.
A black site, if you will. And they got like a team of analysts somewhere else who's working on the same problem. They want to comment on that. They want to have like their comments filter back to the original person. People want to vote on those comments. What's good, what's bad. Their current systems for doing stuff like that are really bad. So we have a lot of interest in actually Rap Genius for enterprise. So businesses are really high on Rap Genius right now.
And what were you guys going to call the one for like the CIA or the NSA?
I was thinking Spook Genius.
Nice.
Or maybe like, you know, Taliban Genius could be a subgenre.
Awesome. So people know that you know Ben Horowitz is a big rap fan, but what about, you know, what else do people not really know about them? You guys have gotten really close with them. You know, they funded your entire Series A, $15 million, which is a big investment in something that people looked at originally being like, why would they invest $15 million in a rap site? But I think they really see your vision for it. Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with them and some things people might not know about some of the biggest VC stars in Silicon Valley?
Oh man, it wasn't easy, you know, like Ben was really into it. We had to convince, I mean, the rest of the partnership, obviously. Mark is a very strong personality. You know, I remember in the partner meeting, we were like, you know, said like, oh, we want such and such millions of dollars. And he was like, what are you gonna do with this money? And like, you know, I said something really stupid about like buying a bunch of companies or something. And then he just totally lost it at me. His legs started going nuts. And so like, we thought we had totally bombed, but like, that's just his way of showing love, you know? There was a huge bowl of individually packaged hand sanitizers in the conference room.
That's all Mark.
He's obsessed.
Ben is the Rap Genius godfather, you know, like he's true fam. We consider him a bro. Like it's not like he's some kind of Uncle Moneybags, you know. We go into his house. Like Felicia, his wife, is wonderful. Sophia comes to the Rap Genius office on Fridays. She's part of the cult. And what people don't know about the Godfather is that he's sick with marketing. He's the one who came up with the nickname Internet Talmud. He's the one who told us to change the name, instead of calling people users on the site, to call them scholars, and to have top scholars for each artist. He's the one who came up with News Genius. So he's just the man, you know, big ups to him. Ben, we love you, dog.
Awesome. So you guys have had this big push lately to get verified artists on the site. So basically getting rappers or authors, poets to explain their own text, because a lot of times, you know, people read a lyric and they wonder, what does that really mean? And you know, a community like some other scholar can give their interpretation, but there's nothing like actually hearing it right from the real person who wrote that. What's it been like trying to get, you know, rappers especially on the site? Like do you guys have to wine and dine them, or what does that look like in rap?
Yeah, I know. Last night at midnight, Mac Miller came through to the office, and Ab-Soul was chilling there. For all I know, Schoolboy Q rolled up. Like, we had to go to bed. Imagine how lame. Like, these rap superstars are chilling at your office, and we're like, hey, we got TechCrunch tomorrow morning, guys. You know, better get to bed early. Good night. But it's been turned up.
Do they ever, like, I don't know, do they ever ask you to like smoke them out, or is there like any of that?
No,
like that one?
No.
It's not cool to ask.
Yeah.
They don't have to ask. So, you know, on that sort of line, Michael Arrington a few years ago wrote about a drug called Provigil, which helps people stay awake, and he described it as something that entrepreneurs were getting really into for helping them work really long days and concentrate. What do you guys think about that scene? Like, do you guys ever use that stuff? Are you interested? Like, do you think that is that prevalent in Silicon Valley?
Well, that's, you know, that it now becomes more apparent to me that, you know, Michael Arrington and I both went to Stanford Law School, and I guess we learned the same habits in law school. We take Vyvanse sometimes to turn up. At least I do. And one of the reasons is I'm allergic to coffee. But also, you take one of those and it just makes you feel so powerful.
And coffee itself, I never drank coffee, but then I got into it, and that's a powerful drug. I don't know, how many people out there have had coffee today? Show of hands. Yeah, coffee, right? Like, it's crazy. You drink it and everyone's pretending, oh, it's just a normal thing. That's crazy.
It's liquid
and then everyone
cocaine,
says,
y'all.
like, oh, I got to run to the bathroom. I've had too much coffee. Is that peeing or what is that? What do people say? I don't know.
So what about, I heard you guys got a little bit into Adderall when you guys were getting the site off the ground to pull some extra content in.
Yeah,
Tell me about that experience.
Well, we would do naked Adderall. Like, this is before Y Combinator. Like, it was just a germ. And what we would do is the naked Adderall, because then we couldn't leave the house. And we'd stay there the whole day and work. And we'd come up with fun theories. Like, we came up with a theory that if you got a woman pregnant while you were on Adderall, the baby would be smarter. But only if the woman is also on Adderall.
Okay. But the issue is that sometimes when you take things like that, or even when you drink too much coffee, you might make decisions or say things that can offend people. Like, can you tell me, you guys have had your fair share of controversies. I mean, you guys are obviously not afraid to say what you think. Can you tell me a little bit, like, what happened? You got into a bit of a kerfuffle with Heroku. Like, what happened with that?
Heroku, man, a lot of love, a lot of hate. Beautiful service. Rap Genius couldn't have gotten off the ground without it. They kind of pulled a little bit of a jack move. I still got love for them. I was just at RailsConf showing love, but they represented their product a certain way. It didn't actually work that way, and it made us waste a bunch of time. But then we got to write that cool blog post with the graphs. You guys got to check this out. Google Heroku's Ugly Secret. It's on Rap Genius. It's explained. There's animated graphs. It's beautiful. And it just turned into mega beef, and it was a beautiful thing for both of us, really, mostly Rap Genius.
That's what was missing from Mark Andreessen's annotator tool on the original Mosaic was Heroku. That's why he couldn't do it right off the bat. So we've got love for them. We're just trying to get everything figured out. It's not easy becoming the biggest site in the world, Got to take it step by step.
So that's kind of a fascinating secondary benefit of your guys' website is you really bring transparency to a lot of things. Like, somebody can say something and really mean something else, and you can, like, normally people might just read it, and if they didn't know better, they'd just take it, cite on, as on their first instinct. But you guys have been able to annotate some awesome documents. Like, you guys did, there was an annotation of Andrew Mason's exit letter from when he left Groupon. Like, could you tell me a little bit about some of the annotations in there?
Yeah, we had to break it down for the Battletoads memes.
Yeah.
And then Ben and Mark both jumped on it, and they wanted to shout out and give ups to Andrew Mason, and they showed him, and he loved it. And he's supposed to get a verified account. So Andrew, what's up, dog? Let's kick it, man. We'll get you verified. You can explain tech stuff. You can explain hip hop, whatever you like.
Yeah, I like the part where he said, I want to go spend more time with my friend, like my family, right? But what does that really mean?
Yeah. No,
I think he was kind of joking a little bit about, he was like making a comment. He was just fired, and he's like, I want to go spend more time with my family. So he was making a joke, and then Mark Andreessen talked about it. There's some interesting annotations on that, though. There's one part where he talks about the controversial accounting metrics they use in their S1 filing. And Mark Andreessen, so they use some like weirdo, like exotic accounting stuff that was later like determined by a lot of people to be kind of like misleading. And Mark Andreessen commented, he's like, I was a board observer at the time, like I was in the room. Those accounting metrics are totally fine. And then some commenters from the community were like, okay, Mark Andreessen, so like, who knows?
They're fine, the metrics are fine. But that's the thing, like you guys probably read that letter and you knew everything that everyone was talking about, like the Battletoads thing, the S1 thing, but you take it for granted, like you're in the tech world, so you have to get a Rap Genius account, go on and explain it, and then when you show it to like, your mom or your sister or whatever, and then you can like, your cousin and people who aren't involved in the tech thing, your niece's friend, you can explain it to them, and it's you take it for granted, and it really changes the way you think about like reading and digesting something, because you just don't realize how many like little comments you are going to naturally have when you're reading something like that.
Andrew's got to break that down, though. Nothing is the pleasure, the biggest pleasure of Rap Genius is when you have the verified account and you're explaining your own shit. Like I explain all my own raps on there, my own poetry. That's the biggest high.
You want to rap for us right now?
a cappella?
Yeah.
Kick me a beat. Kick me a beatbox, Josh.
Are you serious?
Of course, man. If you beatbox, I'll rap. 16 bars, 32 bars, whatever.
What kind of beat you want?
Huh? Medium.
Slow beat,
Medium.
slow beat. Just we're on stage.
All right. Bye.
We at Disrupt. I'm feeling pumped. My boy Jay Constantine is on the beatbox, and I'm rapping 2013. And we gonna be chilling in Malibu, hitting the vape, getting some Chinese food.
Wow. Okay. That was.
Mixtape coming soon.
Yeah, you can get that. I mean, that's not quite the quality of some of the rap lyrics in there. I think my favorite lyric on Rap Genius has got to be the classic Lil Wayne line that real G's move in silence like lasagna. And you might look at that line and be like, that doesn't make any sense. Lil Wayne is out of his mind. But then somebody explained it, and it's really actually quite clear that the G in lasagna is silent, and therefore it's silent like a gangster would stealthily creep up on someone he was going to murder. And somebody might not have ever gotten that if they didn't have Rap Genius. And
No, it was Questlove's famous tweet. Questlove tweeted like the line, and he wrote #Am I getting old? Like he didn't get it.
Oh no. But you guys you're getting into some seriously deep text. What are you reading and annotating right now?
I've been working on War and Peace. One of my goals is I'm going to explain all of War and Peace. I did the first chapter, which is a peace chapter, and then that got a little bit boring, so I skipped to chapter 2, which is where the war stuff starts.
So how's that go? So how long has it taken you to do chapter 1 of 1,016 or what?
Well, that's one of my favorite books. I'm skipping around just trying to look for stuff that I can opine. But it brings the pleasure back to reading. I remember one of my favorite books is Nicholas Nickleby, and I did a chapter from that where Nickleby's sister goes to the Mrs. Havisham of the book to get a job. And Ben Horowitz told me yo, I read this book and I never appreciated it till I read your exegesis. So that meant a lot. It illuminates your favorite literature.
I'm down a real Sheryl Sandberg rabbit hole because we were annotating the first chapter of her book, and then it was talking about her husband, and so then I put up her wedding announcement on the site, and I started annotating that, and then I got into her husband's father as an ophthalmologist, and so how many people know the difference between an optometrist, an optician, and ophthalmologist? Show of hands.
This is smart people, and not a lot of people.
It's the same people who drank coffee this morning.
Yeah, that's true.
That's cool. So you can go on sort of Rap Genius journeys the way that you can on Wikipedia.
Oh, it's beautiful. You start out looking at, the Civil War. You end up at an article about the TGV. That's the Wikipedia version. But this could be you end up on Sheryl Sandberg's wedding announcement. TGV.
So one other controversy you got into, it caused some waves. So you were at a party with Nas and Mark Zuckerberg, and you took some photos, and there was supposed to be a no photos only thing. They got kind of mad, and you famously told Mark Zuckerberg, as well as Warren Buffett, to fillet you in an interview. Maybe you could, I want to give you a chance to set the record straight on this, because I know it got sort of picked up and immediately blasted all over the place, and people thought you guys were idiots. And I think as wild as you guys are, you are actually really smart. And so I want to give you a chance to set the record straight.
Well, that was all me, and the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. I love those guys, and Mark Zuckerberg, I met my last girlfriend on Facebook, so meeting him was such an honor. And it was
Also,
such
he
an
didn't
honor.
say Zuck can suck my dick. He said at the end, he was summarizing the interview, and he said, "What have I said?" Well, I told you Zuck can suck my dick. So it was he didn't really say it.
Yeah, I actually meant to say
He said,
Zuck.
"Fuck that fool," is what he really said.
That-
But then
that
later
was
he's
the problem.
referred
That's
to it
Nas
as
the
saying he
Don.
can suck my dick. So
Well, in any case,
He
I'm
didn't
so
really-
embarrassed about the whole thing. The Oracle of Omaha, the Oracle of wherever Zuck is from. Those guys are the homies. I'm hoping they'll forgive us. And I mean, geez, I think Rap Genius is going to be bigger than Facebook someday, but I don't say that in a beefy competition way, And maybe he went to Harvard and we went to Yale, but it's all love. I've got nothing but respect, and I just hope he can forgive me. I'm sorry, Zuck. I love you, dog.
So what factors in your life have led you to not giving a fuck?
Oh, the Series A. No, I'm kidding. We really do give a fuck. The main reason we're so excited about Rap Genius, you know, we could sell this shit and go and become alcoholics living on an island or whatever and write a play. But the reason we're doing this is to educate the kids. I consider Rap Genius to be a tuition-free university. And every day I wake up with love in my heart. It's only when I take the Vyvanse and I get some aggression in my heart that I say stupid things like, you know, the negative Zuck and Warren Buffett comments.
So speaking of educating the kids, you guys are doing some education initiatives as well, right? Like you guys are working with universities?
Yeah, we're going to be in Columbia next year. The freshman class is going to explain the Iliad and the Odyssey on Rap Genius. Moby Dick's already annotated, The Great Gatsby is annotated, a bunch of novels, a bunch of poems, and that's a shout out to Jeremy Dean, who's an English PhD from Texas, who's also an English teacher who kind of set it off with his own classroom. Now he's spreading Rap Genius into classrooms everywhere.
And our boy Austin from college, Austin Allen, is the poetry genius. So you should follow them on Twitter too, @PoetryGenius.
Poetry is an awesome thing for you guys to be doing, honestly, because it's something that can be really inaccessible to people, but it's so beautiful when you understand the meaning behind it. Like I've read some awesome books where they have a page of a poem and then a page of explanation, but it still feels very much like I'm jumping back and forth. And I love your guys' interface because it's like you just hover over a piece of text and you get the.
Gotta go to The Wasteland. The Wasteland's the most beautiful poem on there. You find out who it was dedicated to. Who knows who The Wasteland was dedicated to? No one. Ezra Pound.
So, a lot of entrepreneurs are pretty concerned about like their image and having this very like, we're really dedicated and we're not trying to make waves, we're just trying to, do our business. Like, what do you think about that idea? Do you think entrepreneurs have to have that very buttoned down look, or can you, even in the shorts and flip-flops world of Silicon Valley, it's still a lot of manufactured image. Like, what do you think about that? Do you think people should be more free and more expressive?
Well, I just met up for breakfast yesterday with my old boss at Google, and I was trying to get him to work at Rap Genius. He's kind of free right now. And he was like, well, the first thing I would do if I worked at Rap Genius is I would throw that Jean-Ralphio out the window. And I was like, which one are you talking about? And he
Which
said,
Jean-Ralphio, right? We've got two of those, me and Tom.
But yeah, a lot of people think we got to change, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
If you wanna ball major, you just gotta drink the fucking Kool-Aid, And sometimes I wish I would have just stayed a corporate lawyer, live just a more normal life, not be the weirdo Rap Genius guy. But that's not how you fucking disrupt, Josh. I mean, look at you. You're a disruptive motherfucker too. That's why we're boys. And in a sense, that means you gotta be more laid loose, and you gotta be living the life 24/7. Like, I don't feel like I have freedom. I'm the Rap Genius guy. But I don't want freedom. I want this religion that brings people together and is based on knowledge and on educating the youth.
No, I totally agree. I think I feel very lucky to get to work at TechCrunch, where they give me a ton of freedom to write basically whatever I want. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you just act as who you are, you attract the people that love you for who you are, and you end up, I think, a lot happier than pretending to be someone else and then getting friends who belong to this fictional personality. So if you guys had to go and give a piece of advice to maybe new entrepreneurs or kids applying to Y Combinator, a piece of advice that they couldn't get anywhere else, what would you tell them?
Don't worry about any of that stuff. Like the big lesson from Rap Genius for me, for us, is that we worked on a bunch of other stuff too, and like, why did Rap Genius take off? It took off because we weren't sweating like, oh, we're gonna get into Y Combinator, we're gonna raise money. We weren't thinking about any of that stuff. We were just trying to build a thing that was cool, and then eventually people started to use it. So just traction is everything. Don't worry about money, don't worry about Y Combinator, just build something cool, get some cool clothes. It's bomb.
Also, you gotta show love to your co-founders. Like, you're gonna get mad, you're gonna feel weird, but you gotta show love, you gotta hug.
That's awesome. Can we hug it out real quick to end
Should we
this
do
interview?
that?
Yeah, let's do that. And we all happen to be wearing Nike, so maybe we can get one of those photos of us all with our feet in like this. Yeah. Ready? Yes.
Who's doing the photos? It's a photo shoot.
Thank you guys very much for being the most ridiculous people to ever come on stage.
Gucci Mane.
I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Give these guys a hand.
Free Gucci.
Free Gooch.